Hey people, welcome back. And in today's session, we'll talk about the difference between the efficiency and effectiveness. I hope you have watched last session where I was explaining you about then when to apply lean and when to apply DMAC. So basically when we look for the lean application we use to improve the efficiency of the process, and the DMAC approach we apply to improve the effectiveness of the process. So what is the difference between efficiency and effectiveness? This is what I'm trying to make you understand now. Let's take an example. Suppose you have some transactions which you need to perform. So transaction, let's say the count is 500 transaction you have to perform. This is what the production you are supposed to do. These 500 transaction comes with some kind of agreement. Agreement is like as the timeline for these 500 transaction is, let's say, 10 days. So all these transactions should not be taking more than 10 days. You are expecting the accuracy out of these transactions shouldn't be less than 98%. It should be minimum 98%. Maybe you are looking for CPT, which is the cost per transaction, should not be more than $1. It has to be within the $1. And the number of transaction which is completed 500 transaction within the 10 days with the 98% of accuracy, and the cost per transaction should not be more than $1. If you have any other parameter, you can list down, but let's go with these 4 parameter only. I will be creating some scenario here. If I say about scenario 1, assume that you have completed all the 500 transaction. You have completed in less than 10 days. Accuracy is, let's say, more than 98.98%, maybe 98.4%. But the cost per transaction, you are supposed to have $1. It is coming around $1.1. You look at this parameter is not meeting your requirement, but the other 3 parameters are very much meeting your requirement. I'll mark them as in green. So whenever it's come to the efficiency means it's a cost. In other words, or effectiveness means it's a quality. So whenever it's come to the cost, it's always problem with the lean, and we can solve such problem by applying the lean tools and technique. When it's come to the quality, which means it's a problem with the effectiveness, or problem of effectiveness can be solved by applying the DMAC methodology. So in this case, because this comes, cost is more than expected, so we'll be applying the lean tools here to improve the efficiency. Let's see in the another scenario. Scenario number 2, you have done all the 500 transaction within the 10 days only. Cost per transaction is less than $1, but the accuracy is less than expected, maybe 97.12%, assume, which is less than 98% of the target. So such kind of problem are with the effectiveness problem. All the quality problems are always categorized into effectiveness problem. So to improve the quality, we will be making the statistical model, characterization of the data, and then we'll be improving the process. So this problem will be solved by applying the DMAC approach. Another scenario we'll take, let's say scenario number 3, where you have done all the 500 transaction, but you have taken 12 days to complete this. And when you are taking a 12 days, this is more than 10 days expected, though your quality is more than 98%. Your cost per transaction is within $1, but you have taken timeline is more. So when you are taking more timeline, again, it's a problem with the efficiency of the process. It will be having more cost because 2 days additional cost you have to pay. So then this approach will be a lean approach to improve this process. Let's say another case, you could complete only 480 transaction within the given 10 days, though 10 days all exhausted, but only 480 transaction you could complete. Though quality is more than 98%, let's say 98.78, and the cost per transaction is less than $1. So here you could not complete all the transaction within timeline, which means you are not efficient enough. Again, problem with the efficiency. So we'll be applying the lean technique here. Let's talk about one more scenario, the last one here. Suppose you could complete only 480 transaction. Even to 480 transaction, you have taken 12 days to complete. Quality is still less than 98%, and the cost per transaction is also high. So if you see, out of all the 4 metric, none of the metric you are meeting. All the out of 4 metric, neither you could complete 500 transaction. Within the 10 days, you have taken even 12 days to 480. Though your quality is coming only 98.12% and the cost per transaction is 1.10, which is none of the parameter you are meeting, neither for the cost or quality, which means efficiency or effectiveness. In this case, we apply combination of lean and DMAIC together, and that's how we call this as an lean and Six Sigma. So this is the answer. People say when to apply lean, when to apply Six Sigma. This is the answer. We always look for the cost parameter, then it's a lean. When we look for the quality parameter, then it's a DMAIC. And when we look for cost and quality both, like as efficiency and effectiveness of the process, then we apply lean and Six Sigma together. Thank you so much. I will see you in my next session.